In other news, the children's charity SCARS, which speaks out against the sexual abuse of children, has taken issue with a pre-sentencing court report in the case of David Miners, who was jailed for 5 years. Miners, a former road safety officer at TCD, admitted to 2 counts of showing offensive material to a minor and sexual exploitation of a young person while in a position of trust. His Supreme Court sentencing hearing heard a psychiatric report that Miners did not suffer from pedophilia, something Debbie Ray Rivers and John Brunson of SCARS take issue with. They spoke to Bermuda Broadcasting today.
First, I'd like to say what really concerns us is that a court order stated that Mr. Miners was at low risk for reoffending and would not benefit from sex offenders rehabilitation as he does not suffer from pedophilia. But if you Google pedophilia, the definition says sexual feelings directed towards children. It doesn't say how many times they're attracted to a child or what would make them a pedophile. It simply states sexual feelings directed towards children. If he didn't have any sexual feelings for the child, why would he put his mouth on the child? Like, what do we call that? You know, risk is risk. High risk is risk and low risk is risk to our innocent children. There's no margin for error when it comes to child sexual abuse because the damage cannot be undone. And according to the definition of a pedophile, it is a person who is sexually attracted to children.
We are happy that in this case, justice was done, and that the victim and the perpetrator, the evidence was clear in that the perpetrator admitted his guilt, and that made this case somewhat easier. But typically, in cases of child sexual abuse, it's one person's story against another.
And if they thought Miners, who is 43 with a wife and 3 children, could be rehabilitated by the time he's released, Ms. Rivers explaining to us.
Well, I understood that I heard the word narcissism. Narcissism is a mental condition in which people have an inflated sense of their own importance, like a deep need for attention and admiration, self-importance. But let's be reminded that narcissistic personality disorder is not curable, but it's treatable. In terms of pedophilia, I don't know of any known cure. We don't, for pedophilia. The question is, what is going to be the treatment at Westgate, and how are they going to be able to determine that his thoughts have changed so that when he gets out, he is no longer a risk to children? How will they know that he has changed his thoughts towards children? But I can tell you this, according to the newscast last night, Mr. Miners showed no remorse. That's what I heard on your newscast last night. No remorse tells us no guilt. No guilt tells us no change. The beginning of change in a person always begins with a changed heart, which will be visible to everybody, not just words, I'm sorry. It requires honesty, it requires transparency and action to change.
To learn more about the work of SCARS, log on to their website at scars.bm.